Yet another huge welcome back, guys. Hope you're all staying safe and healthy in these difficult times. Today we're going to be talking yet another time about Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 7, and we've got not one but two sneak peeks. But besides the sneak peeks, there are three more topics that I want to discuss over here. We've got a bunch of footage, voiceless footage, but a bunch of footage that we did watch on an interview with Clark Gregg on the Marvel Entertainment YouTube channel. Gonna talk about that as well. And then there are the two rumors that I was asked to talk about. You know, the one with the spinoff with Daisy Johnson on Disney+, and the one about the leak that ended up being deleted by its own poster from Reddit, along with a couple of tweets that people took to mean that next season, well, season 7 that is, we'll be seeing the show addressing the snap. So let us get started with the first of the two sneak peeks, then move on to the second one, and then finally move on to the footage and the two rumors that I was discussing earlier. Let's go.
I mean, I knew it wasn't really in black and white, but still. Now I know how you felt. It's a blast of the past. New sights, new sounds.
Definitely new smells.
All the huddled masses just scrambling for food. This is more my speed.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Good job getting these done.
I know, I got all this stuff for like $13. I love it here.
It's the Great Depression. A decade before Pearl Harbor. Almost 4 decades before Apollo 11. These people have never even seen a TV.
Or black men in a fine suit, apparently.
Imagine if they saw my powers.
Or my gears. Do I have gears, do you think?
Hey, let's quiet down about that. We want to keep history on track, not send it off the rails on our own.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm worried about. The butterfly effect. Just being here, walking down the street, we could have already changed the course of events.
Yeah, the butterfly effect is just one aspect of the multiverse branch theory. Personally, I subscribe to the time stream idea.
Oh my gosh, that's one that lets you do whatever you want.
Okay, imagine time as a stream, right? And we were sticks that were thrown into it. The water, it moves us, it moves around us.
But it ends up in the same place.
Right. Now, too many sticks thrown in, and that'll create what's called a dam, and that'll change the direction of the water forever, and that's bad. So as long as we can avoid that, we should be able to splash around a little bit, and we're all good.
Okay, I know where this is going. Agent Shaw, you will not be filing any patents. Was that understood?
I will tread ever so lightly, Director.
First time in the big city.
Ripples, not waves.
Alright, so there isn't much really to discuss about the sneak peek. I mean, it's one of those normal Team S.H.I.E.L.D., a little bit weird, but nonetheless a normal Team S.H.I.E.L.D. conversation. The entire thing is filled with fascination. You know, we're in a different time, a time that we heard about, a time that we only watched on the movies, but now we are actually there. The first statement there is made by Daisy. I knew it wasn't really in black and white. That's such a nerd thing to say over there, but Daisy is quite the nerd, no matter what. I mean, not Jemma and Fitz nerd, but still a nerd. Or I could use a different word and say she's geeking out. Okay, now I know how you felt, referring to Deke's traveling back in time with the team halfway through Season 6. I would have said the statement Blast from the Past referred to the movie with the same name, starring Brendan Fraser and Alicia Silverstone. For some reason, when I first heard her say it, I was thinking, oh, Blast from the Past, that was either Disney or Fox. But then I went back and researched, and I realized, okay, it was New Line Cinema, and New Line Cinema ended up being acquired by Turner. Turner ended up being acquired by Warner Brothers. So yeah, that's got nothing to do with Disney. So it is possibly a reference to that movie, but probably not one. Now, Deke is apparently the one responsible for dressing up the team in the past in this fashion. Some people will probably find it in them to complain about Mac's statement, you know, about the suit, a black man in this suit, people not being used to seeing something like that. But then again, we all know that that was a staple all the time. We know that people are probably gonna give him looks, it's bound to happen, and he's bound to comment about it, even feel a little bit bad about it as well. But $13 though, that's all it cost Deke to get these attires, or at least his own attire. All in all, still very cheap. Life all over the world was way cheaper, but then again, personal income was probably lower, but still $13. But okay though, I love seeing good old Coulson being Coulson again instead of Sarge or Pachakutik. These people have never even seen a TV. That's such a Coulson thing to say. I mean, I missed those statements on Season 6 because, yeah, we didn't get many of them. Coulson also speaks of his gears. I would have thought he wouldn't really know about that right away. Like, you know, the fact he's a Chronicom/LMD. I would have thought it would have a negative emotional impact, bring about some kind of emotional stress. However, though that doesn't seem to be the case, it seems that Coulson is okay with it. It seems that he sees a certain positivity to all of this, to his return in this form. And that is something he does talk about in that interview that I'm going to talk about in a little bit here. But speaking of the three characters that are missing from this scene, we've got May, first of all, who's missing because she's suffering from those injuries that she got out of fighting both S.H.I.E.L.D and Pachacootic, and actually getting stabbed by Pachacootic with that sword. We've got Yo-Yo, whose injuries weren't as fatal, but still, she probably needs time to recuperate. And finally, we've got Simmons, who's probably acting as oversight back on the Zephyr, and probably as well keeping an eye on the other two, their health situation and whatnot. Now, the one really major thing over here is all the talk about time travel and the butterfly effect and the multiverse branching theory. Deke states the butterfly effect, that's only one aspect of the multiverse branch theory. That is the series acknowledging that they are following the very same concept of time travel that has been applied on Avengers Endgame. The time stream idea Deke subscribes to, it's about, and as he explains on this scene, minor changes in the timeline not necessarily changing or impacting the timeline, as long as everything ends in place again, like a couple of small sticks in a water stream. Yeah, minor waves are gonna happen, but the water is gonna end up in the same place. However, though, major changes, or as he refers to them, too many sticks in the time stream. Now those, and as he mentions, are going to end up creating some kind of a dam, and that dam is pretty much going to be the change to the timeline, or the cause of the change to the timeline, and that change is going to be forever, and that change is going to be significant. Now we've also got Mac telling Deke not to file any patents in this time period. That's a reference to Deke's business back on Season 6 and how he went crazy with all the S.H.I.E.L.D tech that he had his hands on, that he pretty much stole from S.H.I.E.L.D. Now the last thing on this scene is that the scene ends with Mac talking about ripples rather than waves, small changes rather than big ones, to protect and save the world, rather than for the purpose of enjoying the time over there. So the directive over there is that there should be no splashing like Deke wanted to. But that though is the first sneak peek. Alright, we're gonna talk now the second sneak peek. That's the one with the major Easter egg in the title of this video, and I think you're all gonna appreciate and like this Easter egg. Let's watch it first though.
If they don't react to this, they're the target.
Alright, so there are three things that stand out about the sneak peek. Number one, the scene is about two of the three agents that were missing on the first sneak peek, them being Melinda May and Yo-Yo Rodriguez. They both end up putting on face masks, which is so 2020. But number two, we've got Project MJ-12. Now MJ-12, or Majestic 12, that's an organization that appears in UFO conspiracy theories. MJ-12 was allegedly formed in 1947, which means that the first and the second sneak peeks are at a different time periods, probably at a different episodes as well. Now when you think of MJ-12, you start thinking UFOs, you start thinking the Roswell UFO incident, and you start thinking 1947 in the comics, the way the comics used the incident to make it into a Skrull incident, a Skrull ship entering the Earth's atmosphere. But finally though, we've got tear gas canisters. If they don't react to it, they are the target. So I'm assuming they're looking for Chronicoms amidst the project team, Project MJ-12 that is. Circling back though to the Skrull Easter egg, we also need to remember that the Chronicoms have got the technology to borrow or steal faces, which gives them a similarity to the Skrulls, except with the Skrulls it's a power rather than a technology they're using. The other thing though about MJ-12 is this might have been the first time that the Earthers, that human beings, noticed that the Chronicoms were coming to Earth, and that's why we're going to see Project MJ-12 on the series, instead of it being about the Skrulls. Kind of a little bit of a deviation there, but at the same time Easter egging the Skrulls. By the way, I had to do a ton of editing to the audio on this video because that second sneak peek actually dropped while I was halfway through recording this video. So here's to hoping no more drop while I'm recording this video. Anything else that drops later on so that I could do a separate video on it rather than spending the rest of my life doing the same video with multiple sneak peeks. So let us talk that Clark Gregg interviewed the footage out of it from the Marvel Entertainment YouTube channel interview. For one thing, we see Enoch doing the treatment of Melinda May. May is pretty much getting her "it's a magical place" moment, her Tahiti moment. Now another moment out of this footage does show us Coulson. He's pretty confused, or a little bit confused. He's trying to figure out how he fits in this equation in this new form, the LMD/Chronicom form. But as Clark Gregg does state on this interview, he's gonna try to figure out a way to fit in order to save the lives of his friends. That's the thing that's gonna matter to him. Now, Coulson, in the synthetic form, as Clark Gregg refers to it during this interview, he's going to be more of a superhero, someone with super strength at least, and as he states, he's going to get a kick out of it. The footage that is shown in line with that kind of makes me get this little bit of a Terminator vibe. He's that powerful at this point. I would not actually be surprised if one or two of the references that we hear on this season happen to be around the lines of "Hasta la vista, baby," or "I'll be back." But finally, on this interview, Clark Gregg states we might actually go to other fun decades. When you think about it, this interview just posted today. It probably got recorded a while back because you don't see any kind of social distancing there, and with the current situation, that's probably the case. However, though, this was definitely recorded after the filming of Season 7, so the situation here is they are definitely going to other decades. Fun other decades. But moving on to the two final topics on this video, and I'm gonna make this quick. There are two rumors out there. The first one is that Daisy Johnson is gonna have her own spin-off on Disney Plus, or is gonna be part of a spin-off on Disney Plus, and that rumor is completely out of the window. Simply put, some fan did ask Chloe Bennett about it over Twitter, and to that she responded, "I wish that were true, but they aren't." I have not heard anything about that besides on Twitter. So yeah, that's just a rumor, there is no truth to it, at least as of now, there is no truth to it. But okay, what about the more important rumor, the snap part? Now the snap part is a part that's been taken out of context. This 4chan guy posted a leak, an alleged leak on Reddit. He ended up deleting it later on, so we cannot really be sure about the authenticity of what he posted there. The MCU Cosmic website kind of took it to an all new level. I mean, I could trust this website with a lot of news, but not with everything, including 2 articles or 2 pieces like this. First of all, the first piece quoted a tweet by Geoffrey Collo and referred to him as one of the executive producers of the series, which he is not. He's just the marketing director of the series. He's the one responsible for all the promotional material and whatnot. And the tweet shows Fitz holding on to a monolith, hugging a monolith, but that's basically out of Season 6 because that's the temple as of the end of Season 6. And Geoffrey Collo states in that tweet, "Okay, monolith, I'm ready to escape the corona apocalypse. Take me forward 8 weeks, please." This has got nothing in any way, shape, or form with Flint bringing back the monoliths together as the leak claimed, leading up allegedly to handling or dealing with or addressing the snap. Yes, they've got a piece of the monolith. Yes, it is possible that at some point they use it to build the monoliths back up from the ground, but I'm not really sure yet. We cannot be sure. This is no evidence of anything. But the second MCU Cosmic article claimed that the snap is happening, or it's gonna be addressed on the upcoming season because of a tweet from the VFX supervisor Mark Kolpak. Someone asked him about the addressing of the snap on the upcoming season, talked about having a theory himself, and Mark Kolpak ended up responding, "Well, you'll have to wait for Season 7. The thing is, the website to get us some kind of confirmation. Mark Kolpak is a very lip-sealed guy. That's what he does. That's what he did with us in a Q&A that we had on my Discord server like a few months ago. Season 7 was always off the table. So his statement over here is about a polite way of telling that fan, "Oh, I'm really sorry, but I can't tell you anything about the upcoming season. You're gonna have to wait for Season 7 and see whether it happens or not." But that said though, my work on this video is done, so let me know in the comments down below what you thought of those 2 sneak peeks, what you thought of that footage on that interview with Clark Gregg, and what you think of those 2 little rumors. Let me know as well if you do like this video by dropping it one of those much appreciated likes, subscribing to this channel, and make sure while you're at it to enable notifications in order to get updates whenever I upload a new video, publish a new community post, or start a new live stream. But until you tune in for another one of my videos, be it an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. video or otherwise, thank you so much for tuning into this video, stay safe, and have a great day.